West HQ proudly brings you the story of rugby league legend Mark Geyer, a story that began in Western Sydney.
Hi, I'm Mark Geyer and I'm proud to be from Western Sydney. I grew up in Wayland, Mount Druitt, 2770, in a fibro housing commission house. Some of my earliest memories were smashing the walls of the house to make chalk lines for our handball courts on the road. And Mum would come home from work and say, what's going on? But that's how we grew up. We'd all play football on the road at night, and as soon as the street lights came on, we'd have to be at the kitchen table. Growing up in Western Sydney I always thought it was a dream. You know, it was always so much to do. Still is. But then you realise that you probably aren't as well off as most others around. You know, for my 12th birthday, I got my mum come to me with an envelope, and she started to cry. And I said, "Mum, what are you crying for?" She said, "Babe, we haven't got enough money to buy you a present." And she knew that every day after school, when it rained in particular, I'd go with my mates down to the stormwater drains and race sticks. So in this card that she basically made out of an A4 piece of paper, it was a card to me on my 12th birthday with 10 paddle pop sticks that were coloured in different colours. And she started to cry, and I'm getting a bit emotional thinking about it, because it's the only present I can remember growing up that I got, and it's the one that cost the least. Well, I turned 50 before Christmas. I've been in Sydney, Western Sydney, for 50 years. Born in Auburn Hospital, moved out to Mount Druitt when I was 18 months old. Lived there for 20 years, then moved to Penrith for the next 20 odd years. And the changes that I've seen over that period of time are profound. Not just the building structures and the motorways, but just the people. We're getting a lot of strength from leaders of different types of backgrounds that are making themselves heard through their actions, which never happened 20 years ago. You know, people were kind of too shy to succeed, if you will, in the western suburbs of Sydney, because, you know, there's that bogan, you know, doing this again, doing that, they won't last. But I think now that people have got runs on the board, the misconceptions are starting to be less. The multicultural aspect of Western Sydney is thriving. If I had to give some advice to anyone just starting out a business in the western suburbs of Sydney, I would say embrace your surroundings. I've always said that if I got into any trouble as far as, you know, help needed, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Because as soon as you put something on for a benefit night or a charity, people flock. Even though they can't afford it, they flock. Because we never know, touch wood, when we're going to need the same type of care. And that's the one good thing that I take out of being in Western Sydney, that people will jump over chairs to try and help a cause even when they can't afford it. And that's why I keep doing charity work, because of people like that. The highlight is very hard to single out, but it would have to be winning the grand final in 1991. Individual accolades like making State of Origin or playing for Australia are great, but when you do it with a bunch of blokes who we lost the year before to Canberra as well, when you get a chance 12 months later to rectify that little hiccup in your career, you do think that someone up there's watching you, and winning the grand final in 1991 was the most euphoric emotion that I've ever felt. Look, I think people of Western Sydney are definitely a lot more proud. I think they're a lot more driven, and they're a very, very friendly bunch. That's something that often gets left out of the sentence when people are writing about us. You know, we can take it. We've got broad shoulders, but we just can't take it forever. Sometimes somebody else has got to be a whipping boy for the big bad West out there. It's not who we are. That's so far from. We're very multicultural. We accept anybody for whoever they are, as long as they have a go. You know, I don't care who's living around. I've got 12 neighbours back onto my Battle Axe block, and nearly every one of them comes from a different background and nationality. But the reason that I respect them is because they all have a go. I wear Westies as a badge of honour. I do. I don't call me anything else. I am a Westie, proud of it. Now, a lot of people will live in the West because of circumstance. A lot of people live there because they love it. A lot of people live there because that's where they were brought up. I'm all three.
Western Sydney has always had pride. Now it has a beating heart. West HQ, Discover our bold new chapter in the story of Western Sydney at westhq.com.au.